You always tell me, find the deal, the money will be there.
Yes.
If you find a good deal, the money's going to be there because, well, it's going to be there if you go looking for it. If you're sitting on your couch with a good deal saying, I got a great deal, well, then you just got a great deal that you're never going to buy. You have to go find investors, obviously. This isn't a business you can run on your computer. You do spend time on your computer. And to be honest with you, John, at first, when I first got into investing, I was kind of looking for that. I was playing a little bit lazy. I wanted to see if I could. That's why I was trying to do the home site unseen because I didn't really have to leave my house. I really didn't have to deal with the public. I really didn't have to take too many phone calls and stuff. But that was really difficult to do, I found. And it just wasn't working for me. Now, it does work for some people. Some people are making great livings doing that. But it just wasn't working for me because I'm hands-on. I don't want to buy a property in Tennessee that I've never seen before, and I'm trusting the realtor and somebody that I paid I don't know to go take pictures for me, or trusting the inspector. I mean,
Are
basically
these
that's what you're doing.
virtual buy and sells? Are these just fast turns? You're selling these, cashing out, or these are long term, usually out of state. Okay.
They're both.
Okay.
It's both. It's seller financing and you're trying to sell them on the open market. But the gist of that is you're trying to buy cheap HUD homes from the government who are looking to dump them cheap. And then you get them for pennies on the dollar, turn around and sell them for a profit,
That's
on the back
right.
end. But it's tough. It was a tough gig. I never found one. I made a lot of calls. I met a lot of people. I'm sure if I would have put a large sum of money down and done the training program, I might have found one. Maybe not. So, after doing it for a little while, I just realized I was like, I don't think this is going to work for me. I'm just too skeptical about, okay, I found this home in Alabama. The realtor who wants me to buy the thing absolutely is telling me how great. Don't worry about that giant hole in the ceiling with the asbestos hanging out. It's cool. You know, it's fine. You'll be
I
okay. Just send me $30,000 right now, please.
can see why you, yeah,
You
you'd be a
know?
little apprehensive.
So,
Oh. So you okay? So but you did get that far. You talked with realtors. You did some stuff. You just never pulled the trigger.
yeah,
Okay.
I never pulled the trigger on one. I was searching HUD. I was doing the whole thing, and I just never could pull the trigger. I was making offers,
Yeah,
John.
a little
I was.
reminiscent of when I got started, making offers, knocking on doors, not afraid to do it, but just that right
Mhm.
one never either. I didn't know what I was looking for, or it never came along. It wasn't the smack in the face that I wanted. Versus the mobile home
Yeah,
when I first got my first mobile home deal. Um,
yeah.
what is that? Uh, what does that look like? If you wouldn't mind, what are your first couple deals? You have little to no real estate experience. You get started with mobile homes. How long did it take us to actually close that first deal? And then, yeah, what were the first few like? Did we sell them for cash? Did we sell them on payments? Were you immediately hooked?
Yeah, yeah, I'll tell you all about it. It took 6 months for me to find my first deal.
6 months. Okay.
It, it was almost 6 months, just shy of it. And you know me, I hit the ground running. I was really enthusiastic about the mobile home thing. I just was ready to go. I had been analyzing deals for a year. I was motivated after I started the mobile home course, and I studied that thing. As an engineer, I studied that thing word for word, John. And in the beginning, I was glued to those scripts like a young kid's glued to their parents' arm in the Pirates of the Caribbean at Walt Disney World. I held on to those things with a death grip, like because I felt like I needed it. I didn't know what I was saying. I didn't want to mess it up, and I was just totally unexperienced. So I was calling lots of people. I was meeting lots of people. I was driving around for dollars. I was sending you pictures constantly. And thank God, I had partnered with you because, some of those that I came across that you told me, Jason, these are not what we're looking for. These are not the type of deals that we want. But remember the one that I found, the 3-2 double wide, I was going to get it for free. But it needed walls, framing, roof. It needed $20,000. in a total rebuild. It had no ceiling. It was a total disaster. I was all gung ho about it. I'm like, it's a double wide. I can't believe that first one's going to be a double wide. And I sent the pictures over on Dropbox to you, and and you looked at that thing. You're like,
You're
what a
like,
piece of shit. And I met with that guy. First, he wanted 5 grand. The gentleman wanted 5,000. And you're like, Jason, I probably wouldn't. I'd give him $100 for that place. And I was like, that kind of. I was like, wow, really? You're like, yeah. Um, that house is still there. Somebody did take it for free, and they still haven't finished the repairs, and it's been a year and a half. That's how bad it was. It needed all new walls, framing, roof, ceiling, air conditioning, bathrooms, kitchen. It was a
would you a
disaster.
year and a half later, would you, is that, if that same opportunity came around, you got it for no cost, maybe free lot rent, would you consider something like that?
I would, I wouldn't
Or
even drive by that house now. It's that bad, John. It's totally unsalvageable. I actually talked to the owner who owns it now, and he's having a lot of problems, because they're piecing it together while they live there. So I probably would not take that deal,
okay.
just because it needed so much work. There just was nothing of real value left. But my first deal actually ended up being a good one. I'm glad I went because it's one of my best deals, to
Oh,
be honest with you. I got that from signs, actually. No, the internet. Somebody saw, excuse me, somebody saw my ad for We Buy Mobile Homes. Excuse me. They called me up and I talked to the guy a little bit. He says, yeah, you buy mobile homes cash. I said, sure do. Well, what do you got? I went through the whole script with him, the whole deal. And come to find out, they had a 1971 double wide that had been totally revamped, that had vinyl siding on it, new subflooring. The carpet was atrocious in there because they had that service dog in there and they just really destroyed it. But the place was solid. For a 71, it could easily pass as a newer home, except for it didn't have the pitch like an 80s style home does. Um, but it could definitely pass on the outside as a newer home. It's in good shape. This client actually was in litigation with the mobile home park. I don't know if you remember, I told you about that. They were suing the mobile home park, and the mobile home park had problems with them. Um, they actually had the house appraised. The appraisal for the house was $20,000. $20,000 was the appraisal. The mobile home park offered them 15, and they didn't take it. They rejected it out of pure spite for the
okay.
mobile home park. They didn't. This is what they told me. They didn't want the mobile home park to buy the home from them and make the money off the home. That's how bitter this situation was. Um, so I step in, I go, I check it out, I take a bunch of pictures. Of course I emailed them to you, and by this time, John, I wasn't disappointed, but I was ready. I was ready to find my first deal. I had a number of disappointments before that they just didn't work out. They weren't good deals. And I think I was finally starting to see. Took a little while. I'm usually a quicker learner than this, but it took me a little while to figure out what a good deal is. And that just came from looking at a lot of deals, going there and looking at them, talking to the people. It's like riding a bicycle, John. If you ain't never got on the bike, you're going to fall off and scrape your knee. If you're on the bike every day, you're going to be a pro. So, and that's what happened. We finally found a good deal. They had it appraised for 20. I went there. They showed me all the paperwork, and I ended up buying that place for $7,500. Half of what the mobile home park wanted to offer them. And they were perfectly okay with that. I bought the place from them, $7,500. Didn't have any problems with them as far as litigation. They actually called me like 3 months after the sale and said, we're thinking about suing again. Do you think you want to be a character witness? And I'm like, no, absolutely not. There was a big mobile home management company, and I just didn't want
No
to get into a legal
way,
battle with them.
right?
But for this guy's problems, you know what I mean? Like, look, buddy, I got you out of there. It's your deal. But the was actually really happy with me that I bought that home and
Oh,
got them out
good.
of the park. It was a win-win for everybody. But I bought that place for $7,500. I didn't put a dime into that place, John, not a penny, except for a couple months lot rent. It took me about 2.5 months to sell that place. So I just had a little over 8,000 into the joint, and I ended up selling that place for 38,000 on payments.
They st- how they
Uh,
paying you now?
they pay me 400 a
One time.
month.
Nice.
I collected I collected 4,000 down from them and 400 a month. So actually this month it was 11-month deal. So this month I actually broke even on that
Nice.
deal.
Wow. On your.
So now it's another 5 years of 400 a month, man. No brainer, dude. The mobile home thing it's you cannot beat the mobile home game when it comes to cash on cash return. It's really hard. Just the pure percentages. I mean, that one alone is 101% in the first year. So I'm getting all my money back in 12 months. Now, not all my deals are like that. That is a good deal. I strive for that 12 to 18 month return, but some deals are not. Some deals are 2-year return, and I'm okay with that as long as I'm going to get a good 5 years on the backhand side. So not all, I mean, that was a really good deal for me.